Hi everyone, today is an introduction to my video series on scales and harmony. We'll be learning some of the vocabulary that you need to know as we start to write scales in the next video. For any of this to make sense, you'll need a good understanding of staff notation as well as whole steps and half steps. The first term that we'll talk about is called pitch class. Pitch class includes all octaves and all inharmonic equivalents of a sounding pitch. All octaves, meaning pitches in different registers, and all inharmonic equivalents of a sounding pitch. This pitch could be called C sharp or D flat, but they're the same pitch class. Here I would ask my students, how many pitch classes are there? Or another way of asking the question, how many pitches is an octave broken into? Between these two C's, how many pitches are there? We can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In Western music, our octave is broken into 12 pitch classes. Different pieces of music use different pitch class collections, and we're going to talk about two of them. The first is a chromatic collection. In a chromatic collection, the pitches are related by half step. So what I just played was a chromatic collection of pitches. We could have a complete chromatic collection that includes all 12 pitch classes, or we could have a partial chromatic collection that just includes some of them. Even in a partial collection, the pitches are still related by half step. In a diatonic collection, we have 7 pitches, and those 7 pitches have the 7 letter names that we use in music. We could have a diatonic collection that is all white keys on the piano, C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. We could have another diatonic collection that still includes all 7 letter names, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, and E. This will make so much more sense when we look at examples of real music. I think it's so important to look at real music when we're studying theory. Here's a piece by Rimsky-Korsakov, Flight of the Bumblebee. I want to play a little bit of it for you, and then we'll do some analysis. That's a fun piece of music, and so many pianists use it as an opportunity to show how fast they can play. You could find videos on YouTube of people playing it at ridiculous tempos. But Korsakov was obviously trying to imitate the sound of a bumblebee, and we can ask the question, did he use a chromatic collection or a diatonic collection to do it? I'm going to label each pitch class in the first couple of measures. I'm only going to label each pitch class once. So we start on an E. I'll label that as an E. It's up here. And then we move to D sharp, D natural. I'll write it down here. And then we have C sharp. We have D natural and C sharp again. I'm not going to label those. We're only labeling each pitch class once. So we come to C natural, and then B natural. We have C natural and B natural again. Here's B flat and A, G sharp, G natural, F sharp, and F natural. If we count those, we'll discover that we have used all 12 pitch classes. So we know that is a chromatic collection, and in this case, it's a complete chromatic collection. We've used all 12 pitch classes in this example. Let's look at another example. Here is Minuet in G major, once attributed to J.S. Bach, but later historians realized it was actually by Christian Petzold. Let's listen to some of this. You may have played this as a beginning pianist, but I think it is a great example of learning about a diatonic collection. We can do exactly the same thing that we did on the last one, and we'll learn that this is a diatonic collection. Let's label each pitch class. Here we have a D, G, A, B, C. I'm not going to label the D or these next two G's again. Here's an E and an F sharp. We have all 7 letter names. We know that this is a diatonic collection. Diatonic collections have tonality or key, and just the fact that this is called Minuet in G major should be a clue to us that this piece has tonality. As I just said, diatonic collections have key or tonality. That means that there is a particular pitch in the collection that feels like home. In the one we just looked at, the pitch was G. We keep returning to G. In the left hand, we start on a G. We return to G in the right hand. We return to G again. G just feels like home. This is a tonal piece of music. In tonal music, there's always that sound of a pitch that feels like home. A scale is an ordered pitch class collection. If we take the pitches that were in the piece that we just looked at and put them in order, we would be writing a scale. We start with that pitch that sounds like home, is G. So if we took all those pitches and put them in order, we would have a scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then we could end with G. We can start and end on the same pitch. As we learn about key and tonality, we'll talk about why it's an F sharp and not an F natural. So knowing that a scale is an ordered pitch class collection, when we write scales, we always begin on, write diatonic scales, we always begin on scale degree 1. In that case, it was G. There's some different terminology for our scale degrees. With scale degree 1, we could call it the tonic. That's terminology that we use. Or we could call it do, like do, a deer, a female deer. Or we could use this scale degree 1, a 1 with a caret above it. These 3 things, do, tonic, and scale degree 1, mean exactly the same thing. It's that sound of the music coming home. It's that home bass sound that we hear in tonal music. And having this knowledge will help us to be able to write a major scale in the next video. I hope you've learned something today. And if you need more help with the concepts that we've talked about, I have study notes and a practice quiz, and they're linked in the description below. I hope you'll check it out, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video as we write major scales together.